Hi everybody, this is Lance Tomashiro and I am so excited that you've made it here today. Robert has put together an excellent training for all of you today. And you know, whether you are just getting started online or whether you're a seasoned veteran, there is something in here for each of you. And one of the things that Robert and I have noticed consistently over the last couple of years from selling products, working with coaching students, and watching the people that succeed versus the people that don't succeed, there is a very similar trend all the way across the board. And I'm talking about successful online businesses from the solopreneur to the small mom and pop shop, all the way up to the giant mega companies that you see online. They all have a base system up, place, and online. And the problem that a lot of people have when they get online for the very first time is, well, they don't know the big picture. They don't see all of the pieces, and they don't know how to put together a complete automated selling machine. And then they learn about things like, you know, they have to learn HTML, they have to learn PHP, they have to learn how to do copywriting, and they hear all of these different, I'm going to call them myths, that we're going to bust open today and show you how you can do all of these pieces together and build it all in one direct piece, in one direct system. Because what ends up happening is people are jumping from opt-in pages to sales pages to membership sites to copywriting to content creation. And the truth is that if you get everything put together in one nice little package and have all of the tools, which aren't very many, all in one piece, then you can actually set it and forget it and move forward. And that's exactly what Robert's going to show you here today, and show you how to do and give you everything that you need, from how to set up your websites, how to build your system, to even some copywriting type stuff, all packaged up nicely. So if you guys can find that question box, we are here live. If you can hear us, if you are ready for Robert to show you this real secret, why you've had trouble getting your websites online, why they're not converting, and how you can get it all set up today, then go ahead and type in the question box secrets, because that's exactly what Robert is going to be sharing with you today. So close down all other windows, close down your web browser, get ready to pay full attention for the next 60 minutes to Robert, where he's going to show you everything that you need to overcome any technology hurdles, overcome conversion hurdles, and get everything up and running today. So without any further ado, I present to you Mr. Robert Plank.
Perfect. Glad to be here, Mr. Lance Tomashiro. And you know, the place we're in right now, all of us in our webinar together, it's a really nice, safe place for it to be, because if you really think about it, we all have problems. We all have obstacles, roadblocks in our business, places where, you know, certain things have slowed down, or where, you know, the current direction we're taking, maybe it's kind of on the right track, but we need to deviate a little bit to continue moving forward and continue growing. And there's a few problems with basically asking for help, right? Because you go and ask for help out there on the internet, you go and post on a forum or something, and you never know what kind of answer you're going to get. You never know if you're going to get 50 opinions going this way, 20 opinions going this other way. And then maybe you say, well, now, you know, I'm going to talk to my wife, my kids, my significant other, whoever, but then they don't understand what it is you're going through, right? Because you are building your own business and they're off doing their own other thing, and they're not really the right person to talk to. So this is a great place for us to be, because you can admit that you have trouble. You can admit that maybe not everything's going your way right now, and so we're all gathered here today to figure that out and to make sense of all that. Because, I mean, the internet, if you think about it, is a pretty big and kind of scary place. Like, if you go on Google and you type in something like, you know, how to make money online, or how to build a website, I don't even know what's going to come up, or how to create a converting sales letter, what are we going to get? Where we're going to get how to make money from surveys, $7,000 a week, yeah right, 10 creative ways, probably includes like selling my stuff on eBay, just not what you want to find out, right? we look for how to build a website, well, we see all these tools or 17 tips. Great, so now I have 17 choices on how to build a website. Or maybe there's a book on how to build a website, or maybe there's this Quack It, whatever it is, which is probably just going to host me like a one-page website for free that I can't really use for anything, that will probably display their ads. I look for how to create a converting sales letter. Well, hey, look at that. Cool. Paper template comes up for us, number one. But then we have things like marketing one coach. So someone to make you a website for $5. I'm sure that'll be great. We have some different, all these different things to download. So the point is that there's all these different choices. And so I don't know where you are in your online journey of making money, whether you're at the very beginning, but I would say that some of you are at some point along the way, and that you came online, you say, you know what, there's all these different ways to make money online, and there's probably literally like hundreds of them, and like maybe I could do surveys, maybe I could do Amazon stuff, maybe I could do affiliate stuff, maybe I could do AdSense stuff. There's all these different choices. And then maybe you finally settle on, okay, well, I want to make, say, like something in the organic gardening niche. Well, great. Now what do I do? Well, I could make a blog site. I could make a site with a bunch of content. I could create an interview site. I could have people contribute things. I can make a Facebook site. So there's all these different choices. And then you say, okay, well, I'm going to sell a product on organic gardening. And so great. Well, now it could be an ebook. Now it could be a video course. Now it could be a membership site course. Now it could be an audio course. Now it could be a podcast. Well, cool. It's going to be a membership site, a home study course. Well, now I can make a blog promoting it. I can make a sales letter. I can make 30 different pages. I can make 100 different pages. And so the problem is that every step of the way, there's about 100 choices in front of you, and then once you make that choice, well, congratulations, now you've got 100 more choices to make. So Lance and I are going to do our best to eliminate 99.9% of the choices you have, which at first sounds bad, but it's actually a good thing, because now it just means that all there is to continue on is to do what's right in front of you. And so I want to start off by sharing this quote with you that says, if you have not yet achieved greatness in your life, it is because you have been willing to settle for less. So I kind of like the way this is worded, because I don't know, at least for me, when I was growing up, when I couldn't do things like I couldn't make money, or I couldn't make a website work the right way, or I couldn't make a living doing internet stuff at first, then I'd hear all these labels, right? Like I hear these labels like, well, you know what, you're just a procrastinator, or you're just a loser, or you're just a quitter, or things like that. And the problem with putting labels on these kinds of things is, well, it can go one of two ways. Either you kind of embrace this label and say, oh yeah, you know what, I'm a quitter and that's just how I am, things are never going to change, that's the kind of person that I am, and that's just all there is to it. And some of these people are even proud of it, or using it as an excuse for not doing anything. Or they say, well, someone said I'm a loser, and you know what, I wish I wasn't, but that's just the way I've been beat down. And so I really don't like putting labels on things like that, but a better way of looking at it is that, well, you have not yet achieved greatness in your life. So that just means that, well, you're not entitled to having a website that makes money every day. You're not entitled to having a huge, gigantic list of responsive subscribers, but that is what's in store for you if you can actually not do the work, but actually like make the progress. That makes sense. So you need to have a website online, and you need to have something where someone can pay you money, which is what we're going to be talking about today. So I want us to kind of participate a little bit in this. I'm not just lecturing to you. You can talk back as well. So can you go in the question box and answer this question right now? How long does it take for you to create a website? And remember, we said that this is a safe place, so I'm not going to call anyone out. I'm not going to say, oh yeah, Jimmy said 7 hours. I'm just curious. If you have an idea for a website, and I mean in your head, whatever you're picturing like a one-page site, picturing like an AdSense site, or you're picturing something with videos in it, whatever it is, I'm seeing responses like 15 minutes, 2 hours, several days, 5 days, 30 minutes, forever, 60 minutes, 1 hour, much too long to get it to what I want, months to make it right, minutes, first draft 30 minutes, 2 hours, 5 minutes, 1 hour. So I'm seeing things all over the place. And I know that when I first got started, I would think about a month. I said, all right, I have this idea for a site, and you know what I'm going to have to figure out? I'm going to have to figure out the domain name for it. I'm going to have to figure out the graphics. I'm going to have to make a mini site design. I'll have to get a logo created. I'm going to have to come up with something clever and new. And that's a big thing, is that at first I thought that every single website that I created had to be completely different, had to have completely different colors. And I thought, I already had a blue website. Now I have to go and make an orange website or a green website. Or I already had a site with a small logo. Now I have to have a site with a big logo, and it has to have this name and this whole spin on things that no one's ever seen, because otherwise, is anyone even going to pay attention to me? And my question is, now that you guys listed all these different lengths of time from 10 minutes to several weeks, and then someone said 2 hours up and then content, ugh. So they're right there tells me that you dread making a website. So it's like there's this thing that you want, right? You want to get money, you want to get paid any way you want to look at it. And then there's where you are right now. Well, what you have standing in between you is this website. And so if you dread making the website, then you dread the path you're about to take in order to make money. So that sucks. And I mean, if you think about, depending on the kind of site you want to make, if you want to make a membership site, then who knows how much content you're going to have to make. Do I have to make 6 months of content, a year of content, 2 years of content? So you guys all answered between 15 minutes and 2 weeks. So now how long should it take you? So if you had a magic wand, if you had magical powers, if you had a magic genie, whatever it is you want to call it, and you had an idea for a website, and you had a push button software to do it, well, then how long should it take you? Are you thinking in terms of 5 minutes, 10 minutes? Go ahead in the question box and tell me. So you said 15 minutes to 2 months to make a website, but would you like to make a website in, someone said 1 hour, someone said 1 day, someone said 15 minutes for a squeeze page. We're saying 1 hour again. So I'm seeing people saying that if they have an idea, they want to get from the idea to the website as fast as possible. Because we get all these new ideas. There's definitely no shortage of ideas on the internet. And we might get excited about something on Monday, but then on Tuesday, something else could grab our attention. And wouldn't you rather have everything all wrapped up on Monday, right? You get the idea, put up a website, it's live, it's got traffic, it's making money, and then so whether or not you get distracted or you could choose to continue growing it, it still makes money whether you do it or not, right? So what we're seeing is, well, it might take us months to create a website, but we'd rather do it in 1 hour or less. And that used to not be possible, but now it is. And not only that, but it's possible without having to learn all this extra stuff. And so in today's call, we're going to be kind of getting you a little bit more in control of your life. And then once you have that, now you'll be able to use these tools to set up websites that are right in front of you. So I want to share with you the 6 things you control, and you don't have to write all these things down because then you'll spend more time focused on writing it than actually absorbing it. So you have 6 things you can control: how much you prepare, how hard you work, how quickly you grow, how fast you respond, how clearly you think, and how well you follow up. And if you're not getting what you want, the chances are one of these things are not very good. Like every day you're just starting off and going whatever direction you feel like, or maybe you're working too hard and you're burned out and not really thinking about, what is it that I'm trying to accomplish? I'm writing 100 articles, I'm tweeting every 5 minutes, I'm doing all this Facebook sharing and like gates, but I'm working too hard and I don't really realize what it is I'm building towards. If what you're building towards is to have a website where someone can go there and pay you money, and once they pay you money, they get something they can download, and once they get that, now they're on your list, and they can buy the next thing that you put out for sale, well then that is a goal you're building towards. But if you're just trying to get these pixels to line up just right, and you're agonizing, well, should I charge $17 or should I charge $16.45 or should I charge $19.99? Then that's working too hard. And likewise, if you just have some ideas and you say, you know what, I want to put out this service where I manage people's Google ads for them, and they'll pay me, $10,000, and we'll have a $30,000 ad budget, and I'll put up a web page, and then, all right, the orders are about to come in, and you think, well, can you really prove that you can do that? And do you have traffic coming in? And do you have a real web presence? Or have you just set up one website and you're just waiting for the money to come in? You can control how quick you grow, and a lot of that depends on basically how bold you are versus how shy you are. And so if you really wanted to grow real fast, then you'd go out there and you'd make friends, and you'd get affiliates, you get joint venture partners, you talk to people on the phone. And if you don't do those things, well, you can still grow, but you grow a little bit slower by slower methods of traffic. How fast you respond. How many people do you know? I'm not saying you, but maybe it's you at times. You keep your email open, and you check every single message that comes in and you respond to everything right away instead of just hunkering down and getting some kind of site up and running and then dealing with email later. How clearly you think. So do you have things distracting you all the time? Do you have a million browser tabs open? Do you have you got your TV playing in the background? Well, if that's true, well then it's really hard to focus on just one little thing, even for 10 minutes to get a website done, and things are all scattered all over the place, and even how well you follow up. And I know that many of you have somewhat of a list. And it might be even just a couple of hundred email subscribers, which is pretty small. It might just be some Facebook friends, some Facebook fans. But even for today's call, in order to get people on today's call, Lance and I each emailed 3 or 4 times each, sent out a text blast, sent out a voice blast, did all these different things just to get people to show up, just because on the internet most of your competitors don't follow up, and it costs them, but it doesn't cost you because you know to follow up. So there are all these things that you can control, but along the way of getting to where you want to go, well, you might hit some of these bumps in the road. Like you might say, well, you know what, I know this person's talking about WordPress, but I've heard of that, and I'd rather focus on something new. The problem, though, is what if this person's talking about sales letters, this person's talking about sales letters, this person, this person, this person, and your thinking tells you, well, this person over here, they're talking about, I don't know, something like Google Hangouts, or they're talking about something like Squidoo lenses, and this is brand new. This is the different person. I'm going to listen to them, and what you're doing is you're ignoring all the things right in front of you and going for this off-the-wall thing that you've only heard about one time. And so Lance and I see people do this over and over again. They'll ignore the things they see all the time because they're used to it, because it's boring to them, and they'll go focus on the quote-unquote exciting stuff that does not make money. But I'd rather focus on the stuff that actually works, that does make money, and then I'll get excited about the money I made, if that makes sense. You hear about people who just pretty much shoot themselves in the foot before they even get started. They say, you know what, I know you put up a web page, but it'll never work, and it's easier to tear someone else down than to build yourself up. Or if you yourself have been torn down, it's easier for you to just accept that that's the way it is, and there's no point in even trying because I've just been beat down. That's the way it'll always be, and I'll just be safe. I'll go back to my day job and not actually build a business on my own because it's easier just to play it safe and imagine what could have been instead of actually going out and doing it. Or you see someone who buys a course or looks at a sales letter not with the intention of actually doing it, but of duplicating it. So Lance and I might put out a course on membership sites, and we'll say, well, here's how you make the sales letter, the web page, all these things. And then they'll say, cool, I'm going to make a sales letter teaching people about membership sites. And Lance and I say, well, wouldn't it be better if you created a site that was more about your personal skills? If you're in real estate, then make websites about real estate. Don't make websites about setting up membership sites, because that's why Lance and I are the technical geeks, and that's why you're the real estate person. Or they'll say, you know what, people out there, they sell from sales letters, they sell from blogs. I'm going to make a totally new kind of website, and because it's brand new, everyone will flock to it, and that's really not the case. The thing is that anything that you and I have thought of has probably been done before, and one of two things have happened. Either it didn't work, and that's why you don't see it because people have tried it and stopped doing it, or it did work, and that's why you see it all over the place. And people, for some reason, think that there's a third option, and it's like, no, well, chances are something has been done in the past. You might have a new spin on it, but if you look at it from a real basic point of view, if someone makes, one thing that comes to mind is people used to make these things called multi-part sales letters, right? So normally, if you've seen a sales letter, you probably have, but maybe you haven't heard it under that name. You see a big long web page where there's a headline, there's some bullet points and other things, and at the end there's a button to go and buy. And some people said, well, let's cut it up into 5 different pages, and someone can read this stuff and click on a link and go to page number 2 and read some stuff, click on a link, go to page number 3 and click on a link, and then finally, if they've made it all the way to page 5, now they're ready to buy. And all these people, all these copywriters said this is the most genius thing ever, because you could tell if everyone stopped clicking on page 2, then you need to improve page 2. If everyone stopped clicking on page 4, you need to improve page 4. And people tried it, but the problem with this is that even though, yeah, you could kind of tell if page 2 or page 4 was the problem, people just not as many people were getting to this last page as just putting it all on a simple web page. And people ignore that because, well, one single web page, that's too simple. That can't possibly work. Well, no, it's always worked, but it's just what you've seen so often, it's almost become invisible to you. And then we see people who have too many ideas. They say, you know what, I've heard that making a sales letter is great. It works so great. I'm going to make 100 of them. I'm going to make a sales letter in the jewelry niche. I'm going to make a sales letter in the learn Spanish niche. I'm going to make a sales letter in the learn guitar niche. And they have 100 different websites they have to maintain. 100 different websites where they have to make sure all the payment buttons are working. 100 different websites where they have to handle refunds or customer support or update things. And then maybe they do have 100 sites, but let's just say that out of those 100, maybe 50 are actually completed, and then maybe 20 of them are actually getting traffic, and maybe they're making $100 per website, and they're making $2,000 from all of these websites. And I'm thinking, well, wouldn't it make more sense if you looked at the sites you had and which one was making the most money, and just focus all your energies on that? And get one site making $2,000 a month, and then even get that higher than that, get it to $20,000 a month, or however you want to make it. But wouldn't it make more sense, instead of having 100 different sites and 100 different payment buttons and 100 different download pages and 100 different subscriber lists and having to send 100 different emails every day? You only had to send one email a day. You only had to get affiliates for one product. Well, that would make a lot more sense to me. And it took me a long time to realize that, well, I might be making things simpler, and I might be putting in less hours, but I'm making more money long term because I can actually just focus on that one site. So I'm seeing someone saying, you know what, one site would be good to get working. So in that kind of mentality, I want you to make money. And I know that there's some people out there who are afraid of money, and some people out there who'd rather just kind of go on their blog or go on their Google Hangout or go on their YouTube channel and just kind of like spout knowledge. But I'd rather that you actually do things and put things out there. So there are 6 things you can do about it. No matter what your personal thing is holding you back, we're all in different parts in our marketing life. There are a bunch of things you can do about it. The first thing is to have a real vision for what you want instead of drifting around. Okay, so instead of worrying about spinning plates or dropping plates, you say, well, in the perfect world, in 1 month from now and 30 days from now, if everything went great, I would want to have a website that's completely done, that gets X number of hits per day, X number of visitors, that gets me X number of sales every day, and I get X number of opt-ins coming into my site. And so I have this income goal, and in order to reach, if I say my goal is $1,000 a month, just if you're brand new, then you say, all right, well, I need to have a product that I'm selling for $100, and I just need to make 10 sales a month. So if that means I make one sale every 3 days, well, then what would I need to accomplish that? Okay, and we don't have time to get into all this kind of stuff, but let's just say that even if you had a sales letter that converted at 2%, that means for every 50 people, you'd make one sale. So by this math, you need to have 150 people coming into your site every 3 days. And now you have a place to start, and now you say, okay, well, now I have to contact these affiliates, I have to run these ads, I have to post on these forums. But if you just get 150 people every 3 days, which is 50 people a day, then that will get you your $1,000 a month. And so that might seem like a lot, but if you're also building a list and you're consistently sending out your emails to your list, if you can get 50 people, if you think about Facebook plus your list plus forums plus affiliates, if it's just 10 clicks for each of those every single day, you get your 50 people, get your one sale every 3 days at $100, get your $1,000 a month. So if you know exactly what you want, then you'll have a way of getting there, as opposed to just drifting around, then you're not really going anywhere. It's like if you were going to drive from Los Angeles to New York City, well, wouldn't it make more sense to have a map, and if you were halfway there, to know if you had driven in the wrong direction and know what's the road you had to take from the middle of that drive to the end of your drive, instead of just saying, well, I want to go to New York City, but I'll just start driving, and whatever direction I end up in, hopefully I'll make it. Chances are you won't make it. So once you have that vision, then you need to figure out, well, now, what do I need to do? And that doesn't mean slave 20 hours a day. You might just put in an hour here, an hour there, and get to your different milestones so that you can say, my website's there, going to take a break. got my payment button online, gonna take a break. And then in the meantime, do this thing called meditation. And whenever someone says meditation, I always picture someone like cross-legged doing that weird thing with their fingers. But meditation could just mean that you're just out driving and you're just thinking, or you just go walk to the park and you don't bring music, you don't talk to anyone, just kind of think about, well, what am I going to do next, and let me just kind of calm down and decompress from the day. If you can delete the clutter in your life and around you, so if your desk is just full of a bunch of stuff, if your house is all messy, if you got all this drama in your life, then as soon as you delete it, you'll have an easier time. And this is all building towards just creating a website machine that works for you instead of being a chore. So creating a membership site that you're charging $10 a month for, and you promise to give them 30 minutes of audios every day, that's a chore. That's not good. That's something where you're going to have to basically be a slave to your business, and you keep having to put in time in order for the money to come out. Wouldn't it make more sense if you had some kind of a report, some kind of a course, you set it up, you had the website, you had people coming in, and then that is a machine that works for you. And the sales leader takes payments automatically. The autoresponder follows up with them, whether they buy or not. And then maybe you even have a help desk or some way of taking in customer support if there's any kind of issues. So the other thing that has been a very useful tool that I want to share with you is if you ask yourself, well, this thing I'm about to buy, if I see a course on how to sell physical products on Amazon, or I see a course on how to triple my YouTube views, well, that seems kind of cool. But can I apply this right away, or am I storing this up just in case? If I see a product on how to put a comic book up on Amazon Kindle, well, am I really going to put a comic book up today, or is that just something where I think that'd be fun and I'm actually going to buy it and never get to it? Or if I see something like, well, someone says, well, here's a product on how to write romance books for Kindle, am I really going to write a Danielle Steele book and put it on Kindle, or is it just something that I'm buying just because I feel like I need to buy something in order to get the illusion that I'm moving forward instead of actually making a website? And then it really helps to have a support system, which means that you don't have to involve your family or your friends or your spouse or anyone like that in what you do with internet marketing. But it helps just if you say, I've got a problem, or I'm afraid that this product I'm putting out isn't going to convert, or I'm worried about putting my name out there. They don't need to know that it's created with WordPress 3.6 and it runs on an HTML5 site, but just like if you have trouble, you need some people who are supportive, who aren't just telling you what you want to hear, if that makes sense. So if you say, well, for example, if you said that I'm spread so thin that I have 5 different websites, and you tell someone, I'm working too many hours, then maybe they would be the kind of person saying, well, you need to cut one of those websites out. And then you say, well, maybe I'll have a different income, and then they'll have a response to you there. But it really helps just to have people in your life who aren't always tearing you down. I mean, we've all been there. We've all had those people who said, what are you doing on the computer? Why are you wasting all this time, clicking around on websites? Why don't you get a real job? But on the other hand, you do need someone to say, well, you've been on the computer for 6 months, you don't have anything to show for it, maybe it's time to at least get $100 out of you. So it helps to have those supportive people who lift you up instead of bring you down. And I mean, things are never going to go in a straight line. There's this guy, Robert Kiyosaki. He wrote this book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, and he's gone through all kinds of stuff. I think he's dealt with legal issues and gone bankrupt, and he says when you don't learn from your mistakes, you make them again. I've had to learn the same lesson numerous times, and each time was more painful. We've all been there, and Lance and I have, created websites and done product launches, made membership sites where it didn't go the way we wanted, and we kind of had a couple different choices to make. We could either do what's comfortable and give up or kind of ignore the problem, or we could do what's uncomfortable and actually make usually just a small change and do things that had to be done, which means that sometimes we had to get on the phone or run a webinar like this, or contact someone or get some extra traffic or run some paid ads. But you have 2 choices. You can do what's comfortable and easy, what you've always done, and get the same results, or you can do something that's uncomfortable now that then leads to comfortable things later, right? So like right now, I don't want to use the word like sacrifice, but we might have to do things that are a little bit outside our comfort zone. If you've never put out a product, you've never put your name on things, if you've never made a video yet, maybe you need to do that so that you can get those extra sales and then you can have the life you've always wanted. So I mean, money on its own is good, but I mean, what can the money get you? Maybe the money then means that you're not as stressed out, you have more bills paid off, you have more money left over at the end of the month, you pay down your debt, you retire earlier, whatever it is that you want to do. Sometimes you have to do what's uncomfortable now to have comfortable stuff later, if that makes sense. And so there's this thing here that says logic to live by. We're just going to breeze through this. Number one, make peace with your past so it doesn't spoil your present. Number two, what others think of you is not worth listening to. Number three, time heals almost everything. Give the time some time to work. Number four, no one is the reason of your happiness except you and yourself. I feel like this might have been translated from another language, actually. Don't compare your life with others. You have no idea what their journey is all about. Number six, stop thinking too much. It's all right not to know. And number seven, smile. You don't have to solve all the problems of the world. So lots of stuff on there, but pretty much it comes down to you. And if you have a bad attitude and if you think things aren't going to work out for you, then that's probably the case. If you have a good attitude and you say, I'm going to be optimistic, but at the same time, if things need a little bit of changing, then I'm open to try new things. I think that's a really good place for you to be, especially when it comes to getting past all this clutter, getting past all this confusion, and getting a website online. And not just any kind of website, because when I tell most people about a website, they think about a blog or about a site with like a review site or a site with some funny cat videos. But when Lance and I talk about a website, 99 times out of 100, we're talking about this thing called an automatic selling machine. And what I mean by that is if I want to buy something from you, well then where can I pay you money? And you know what? Just to make this fun, if you can go to the question box right now, and if you have a website where I can buy something from you right now, I'm not going to buy it, but just go and give me the URL just so that we have it, okay? So where can I pay you money right now? If you say, here's my Facebook page, here's my Twitter page, here's my blog, well that's not really a site where I can pay you money. But if you say, here's a site where there's my course on how to start an eBay business, how to get traffic from Craigslist, how to flip a house, well then, great. That's a site where I can go right now and pay you money right now, even if it's only $10, even if it's only $50, $100, $500. At least that's the first step, right? Once you have the site online, then you can focus on getting traffic and getting people to actually convert, but you don't know until you try it. And so many times, Lance and I have had an idea for a website, put up the site, send people to it, nothing. Not as many sales as we wanted, but then we changed a couple things, and then we had a site that wasn't too different, but there were just a few little tweaks there that actually made us money, but we couldn't have gotten to the final product until we actually started somewhere and put up the site. That's the very first step. So where can I pay you money? Where can I get on your list if you have one? And don't say go to my blog. Don't say I'm still working on it, because if you have a sales letter, remember we talked about those before, where there's a headline, there's some bullet points, there's maybe some pictures, there's you describing this course of yours that you're going to sell me. If it stops halfway through, or if it stops just before you have that button to buy, then you have a hobby, right? You don't have a business. But the good news is that even if you have a bad sales letter, but there's a way for me to buy it, then you can improve on it then. And if you put in 5 minutes a day for a week, or 10 minutes once a week, then that's something where you can just gradually increase it right there. Because I just want to go somewhere and give you money, and most people want to give you money too. Because if I go to Google and I say, how do I sell a physical product on Amazon? Well, here I get all these, videos and blog posts and things like that. But if I'm really desperate, if I say, you know what, I don't have time to go through these articles, if I want to get a product selling on Amazon tomorrow or in the next hour, I don't want to mess with all this. I don't want to mess with Amazon product ads or some introductory guide. I want to buy a course right now. And if I say, like, buy this course, I mean, if you were in this listing, Lance and I were just talking before this call, we'd buy it right now. So there's something to be said about you just having a site up and running so that these people who are looking for the solution to this problem, you can catch them. And out of these 2.3 million results, well, if you can be even on the top 1 or 2 pages, then you're in the top 0.01% basically. And so, once again, if I want to know how to sell a physical product on Amazon, am I going to read 18 tips? Am I going to watch a 2-minute video? No, I'm looking for something to buy right now, and hopefully that's your product. So there's that amazing selling machine, and a good way of thinking about this is just instead of worrying about I've got to have all these things set up, I've got to have a website, got to have a PayPal button, I got to have a download page. Let's just think about what is the next step right there in front of you. So you know you need a site, but why is that the one thing holding you up? Well, because there's too many choices again, right? So right now you're in one of two stages. Either you are getting a website set up, you need to get some kind of a website online, or you're trying to grow it. And I don't care who you are, how old are you, how long you've been working online, what your niche is, you have not yet created the last website you're ever going to create, right? Because even going into the year 2014, 2015, 2017, 2025, whatever it is, you're going to make another website. You're going to have some other idea, or you're going to make version 2.0 of your course, or you're going to add more to it. But either you're getting the site set up, or if it's online, you're going to grow it from there. And so you're not just going to have one website for the rest of your life, so why take forever on it? And the other thing to think about is, well, today may not seem like much, but you're trading a whole day of your life for it. So many people I talk to think that they're obsessed with this idea of maintaining, right? I just want everything to stay the same. I want to get my $1,000 a month, and it just stays next month $1,000 a month, next month $1,000 a month. But the problem is, well, things don't stay the same. You get a little bit older, another day older. Your house gets a little creakier. Your car gets a little bit older, goes down in value. Inflation goes up 3% a year. Whatever it is you want to focus on. So it makes more sense to me that, well, people who think they're maintaining, they think it's in a straight line. It's actually a very, very slow decline. So what I would rather do is keep building, 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 and do things like have somewhat of a savings. That way, if there's an emergency, if I get sick, if a family member gets sick or dies or something happens, then I have that emergency fund. I'd rather have these things built up so that if I have this website going, and even though it's not perfect, well, if I had to start making money from it today, I could. So today might not seem like much, but you're trading a whole day of your life for it. So why mess around, and let's get a website started up and set up for you. So what's stopping you? Well, it could be the technology or the design, or do I write it in HTML or figure out WordPress? And even if I knew that, well, then what would I actually say? Because now I have to figure out, I got to have like these clever headlines, I got to have these graphics, and it has to look all real slick. Someone told me I had to make a free gift, and I have to create a whole product. So there's 6 months right there. So I have to, make a book. Someone told me that I had to read some old books from the 1890s 7 different times. Someone told me that I have to find a website that's converting really well and write it all by hand. There's going to be 2 more days right there. Someone told me I had to take like a leather-bound journal and get a $20 fountain pen and write out 300 headlines in cursive calligraphy so I can have one good clever headline. Someone told me I had to go to the grocery store and buy Cosmo and Us Weekly and all these girly magazines to get the cool headlines. I had to buy Weekly World News and National Enquirer and to write all the headlines so that I know all the great things to say. And you might have heard all these things, and it's overwhelming, and you might have heard that you have to have all these skills, right? You have to be a copywriter, and you have to have all these index cards. And I was in the same position years ago, and I thought, you know what? I'm a computer programmer. I don't know that much about writing things, and so here are my index cards. I got nothing to say, right? And so you see these people, and they'll know all the most cleverest phrases, but they can't create a web page to save their life. And so they're obsessed with the thing called a swipe file because someone who wrote a book in like 1950 said you had to have one. And when it comes down to it, you don't need to have all these clever things to say. The best swipe file, so to speak, is if you think about what gets you to buy. If you are in the self-defense niche, if you're in the weight loss niche, chances are you've bought some of your competitors' products. So if you think about, well, what was the thing that got me to buy that product? Not the clever wordiness, but if someone had this like, say they had like some kind of guarantee or something, and they said, well, you take this course and you lose 10 pounds in 30 days. Or they said, here's this weight loss course, there's these 3 factors, and just the I don't know, like the authoritativeness or the logic behind it is what got you to buy. You don't have to have the most clever saying or something that rhymes or sounds really cutesy, just something that makes sense to someone who is in desperate need to solve a problem. Going back to this search here, if I was looking to get a physical product on Amazon, am I really going to care if you had some cool headline, or if you said, who else wants to put a physical book on Amazon in 59 seconds and put 700 products online right now and parlay that into a six-figure income? Well, I don't care. Just, can you solve my problem for me in a way that grabs my attention and makes sense? So you're already exposed, if you know this or not, to 5,000 ads per day, from the radio, from your phone, from ads in your phone, from driving around, from just on regular web pages. Everywhere you go, 5,000 ads per day. So if you personally come across something that makes you personally pay attention or stop and listen even for 5-10 seconds or buy, then that's something worth thinking about. And that's something worth saving. So just save that headline, or even the idea behind that headline and what they were trying to accomplish, and not just that they used this phrase, or they had the word that, or they had the word just in there, or they had it in quotes, or that it was a red headline. Those are all good things, but what was the idea behind it that actually made you buy? So this way, you don't have to learn some new skill. You don't have to write on all these index cards and memorize things or read these same books 7 times. You just have something that gets the point across and is good enough to make money. So Lance and I have this product, this plugin called the Paper Template, and it uses this thing called WordPress. If you've heard of WordPress, if you use WordPress, can you go in the question box and type in WP? So basically, in the past couple of years, this thing's come along called WordPress, which means that in order to have a website, you can just point and click. You don't have to install programs. You don't have to install FTP stuff or Dreamweaver or Front Page or figure out anything new. It's pretty simple. It's pretty point and click, but it's also user friendly. And on top of that, we have the Paper Template, which does not override your current site. And this is good because this way you can, if you already have a blog, you already have something set up, it doesn't take it over. And it has all these built-in so-called copywriting tools in there. So it has this library of headlines or these bullets, and you don't have to rewrite the wheel from scratch every time. You just click around and you just choose from what we give to you. It contains legal forms, unlimited pages, testimonials, guarantees, order forms, buttons, all these things that used to hold you up, but now it's fine. So this guy, Wayne Dyer, says that with everything that has happened to you, you can either feel sorry for yourself or treat what happened as a gift. Everything is either an opportunity to grow or an obstacle to keep you from growing, so you get to choose. You can let one little pothole in the road stop you forever, or you can say, well, I can't figure this out. Now I need to take a different course of action, or maybe I need to buy a course. If I can't figure out WordPress, buy a course on WordPress, get past it. Or if this particular theme for WordPress isn't working, use a different theme. But if I had to get to that 30-day goal and I wasn't going to let anything stop me, and I knew what I had to do to accomplish it, and I knew what the rewards were going to be, then I'm not going to let anything stop me, and I might have to take a slightly different path than I thought to get to having that website set up, but at least I'll have it set up, and I'll have my funnel set up. And so people get all hung up on the possibilities, and it's easy to talk about a website or a sales letter, but then they say, but you know what, someone told me that I have to have a sales letter, and I have to have an upsell over here, and I have to have, and the sales letter has to be $17, and the upsell has to be $27, and the downsell has to be $7. And you know what happened here? Someone just got crazy with the flow chart and with their spiral bound notebook, or with the mind map, and they just drew this big diagram for you, and it was fun for them to make, and they're so excited about it, and you just thought that this was the only way to do it. And the thing is that they just got excited about drawing this diagram. So when we think about things like a funnel, well, having a sales letter is good, and then what we also like to have is this thing called a free gift. So we have just a simple web page where we have just a downloadable report, and even if you don't yet have a product for sale, you can build a list by giving something away for free. We just create what's called a free gift. we link to it from a gift page, we create a page that explains the gift, and then someone can just go to a web page, fill in a form, and then get a simple report, and then you can send them off to whatever your sales letter is. All right, so I know that was a lot and it might not make sense at first, but even if you're not at the point yet where you want to create a 1-year membership site or sell a 40-hour video course, an easy step you can do right now is to create a free gift and start using it to build a list. And so what we can do is just install a blog and then add what's called an opt-in page to this blog. And we can create a bribe by just grabbing some articles off the internet that people want to get distributed around. Use a tool called Google Drive to save a report containing those articles. And then using WordPress, just create a download page, upload the report, and then collect leads that way. So here's what I mean, and we're going to breeze through this really fast because we're short on time, is I'm going to go to this site called Easy Articles where they like you to distribute their articles around the internet. And so just to use the real estate example, if we said real estate articles, all right, and even just to, let's say we did like real estate foreclosures, right? If we were going to niche it down like that, and we could say we don't want stuff like state-wise, but if we said buying real estate foreclosures, let's see, let's find some good ones. We could say how to buy foreclosures, and then investing. Okay, so we're going to make a report, and we want to use these 3 articles, and we're going to give these people credit because this is a site, Easy Articles, where they actually allow you to grab these articles as they are, and the reason why you can is because it gives these authors extra exposure. So what we can do is we can say, I want to create a report out of these 3 articles. I'm going to go to a site called google.com/drive, and this is basically Microsoft Office but in your web browser. I'm going to create a document, and then I can just call my report secret real estate tips, advice, real estate secrets, right? Super real estate secrets, even better. I'll center it, I'll make it a big text, I'll bold it, and I can say by Robert Plank from superrealestatesecrets.com, or whatever we're going to call this. I could size it down, do whatever we want. So then what we can do, just breezing through this real quick, we can just go to this site called Easy Articles and just select, maybe I got to start from the bottom. We can select the article right here, right click and copy, go back in there, right click and paste. Whoops. Let me try that again with a smaller font size. So left justified, paste it. There we go, that's better. And then we'll take the other article here, and I will select this and copy it into Google Drive as well. That's a little better. And then I'll take the final article here, and I will copy it into Google Drive, and that's the final article. Right, so I've got this this basically Word document with these 3 different articles, and then what I can do is I can put an ad here saying, let's see, if you want to discover the secrets to the Ryan Seacrest to making money from real estate foreclosures, go to realestatesecrets.com. We can highlight this, make this a link right there, and then I can just take this and copy it, and I could put it at the bottom of all these articles. So basically, I've helped people. If someone is trying to find the secrets to real estate foreclosures, they can find my page. I'm giving away this free report, and then it has all the proper credit in here, but it also has a link back to my site. So I put this into the Google Drive system right here, and I'm going to call this Super Real Estate Secrets. And then what I can do is just go File, Download as PDF. And what this will do is basically, without having anything installed, I've now created this document, this bribe here, with my link in it that I can now pass around. So that's pretty cool. And for some reason, Oh, I guess that's, yeah. All right, so that's working. So we've got this PDF document, and I can just put it online on a website. Now, how do we do that? Well, I'm really glad you asked. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to a site that I have open in another tab somewhere. So I've set up this site just on a new web address, nothing on it, just a regular WordPress site. I'm going to log into the dashboard, and we have this. We have no other plugins. You might have seen WordPress before, you might not have. We have this plugin called Paper Template. And what we can do here is just go to our Paper Template area, and we have these different landing pages. I can say New Landing Page, and I can call this page here Free Report. But now I don't know what to write in here. I can write all kinds of different things, but what I can say is I want to create an opt-in page. So now what it's done is it's given me, well, let me just show you what it's given me. I can click on Publish here, and I can view the page. And we go right here and look at this. This is still WordPress, but it's created one of those sales letter things. It's created a website with nothing else to do other than to sign up here, right? With a headline, with some bullet points, and all I have to do is just grab my, let's call it an opt-in form, and put something right in here. So here's this site called Aweber. They just changed their interface literally today, so I'm not sure how to grab the latest form. But you might have seen some of these where you have these tools where you can collect name and email address. This is called Aweber, A-W-E-B-E-R, and so you can build a list of email subscribers. And so basically you set all this stuff up, and they give you this thing to copy and paste on your website. And so what we can just do is just copy this little thing, put this into our page, and we can say for a paper template, we want to paste this into our call to action area here and update the site. And when we refresh the page, now just by copying and pasting it out of our email autoresponder, we have a page already, and we would have to change the headline and things like that, but we can send people to this form they fill out, they enter their name and email address, and they get their super real estate secrets. I can say super real estate secrets revealed here, revealed, and then we can refresh this page right here, and the headline changes. We can go to edit this page and say, I want to make this the front page of my entire site. So when we change that, we can just go to the domain right now is membership newbie, but the very first thing someone sees is this this opt-in page. And then what we can do is we can just say in paper template, I want to make a new landing page. Give it a second to catch up here. So I'm going to create a new landing page, and I'm going to say this is called the gift download page, and then I can go pre-written. I can say this is a gift page. And let me actually fix this issue here. Post name, cool. All right, so we can now say thanks for claiming your free copy of Super Real Estate Secrets. And here's where it gets really cool, is we want to have that report we just made available for download. So what do? We click on this thing called Add Media, Upload Files, Select Files, and we want to find the Super Real Estate Secrets PDF that we just had. So we've uploaded this now, and I want to say call this Download Super Real Estate Secrets. Insert into page, and from just a couple of clicks, now we have a web page right here. We can publish it. Let's give it a second to catch up. So now when we go to our gift download page, so someone could have basically gone to our membership newbie website, filled in their name and email address, then they go to the gift download page. Now they can download their PDF file right here, and here it is. And when they're done with that, we can give them a link to go somewhere else. So we can go and say real estate affiliate program, maybe even like foreclosure real estate affiliate program, and we can find sure, let's just go to whatever this one is, and register for this program, get a special link, and then put that special link where is that, at the bottom of our gift download page, right? So pretty simple. So instead of in the past where we had to fiddle around with uploading files, with HTML, with things like that, well, now we can just create a whole new business in a few minutes. So another thing that we like to do sometimes is buy resale rights. So we might go to a website like this one. This isn't our site, but it's like masterresellrights.com. And so if you wanted to make a, well, I'm gonna just kind of see like what kind of video courses they have right now, right? Whoops. So it's a video course, here's one on this thing called Udemy. So if we wanted to make sell a product about Udemy, instead of making a whole course from scratch, we could buy a course someone else made, and on this one for $5, we can have a whole business. And so for $5, they give us a PDF document. There's no video, or maybe there might be one in here or something like that. But they give us something like a download page, a sales letter, stuff like that. And so what we can do is we can go to the site called Master Resale Rights. We can buy resale rights, and then just do what I just showed you, is click on that button to upload the report, upload the different files people can download, create a download page, and then now it's time to make a sales letter, right? So we can go to this thing called the paper template again. We can say new landing page. We can call this Udemy course profits. Go to pre-written sales page. And then if we just check out what this gives us, in just one click, this gives us a whole entire web page. And we just change this, fill in the blanks, delete whatever it is you want to do. If we want to change the headline, we can just select this headline. And then Paper Template gives us these extra menus. We can say, I want to have a headline that says this. I want to have a headline that says, where is it? That says how to end this problem forever. I want to have a headline that says, I want this to be the first in history. I want to add these bullet points that talk about what every person needs to know about Udemy, or I want to have a bullet point that says why a teacher had to quit their job forever to pursue a full-time living, making money on autopilot, how to double your money in an hour without putting any extra time in here, so you can just make as many opt-in pages as you want, as many download pages as you want, as many sales letters as you want, point and click your way to creating the design, to creating the headlines, the bullet points, and it's all super simple. If I wanted to add a logo up here, for example, I could just go to, for example, let me just find like paper template. I think we have a logo there. You can just grab a logo from wherever you want to get it from. Do we have one? No.
Hi, I'm Robert
One
Plank,
second.
and welcome to...
Let me get Income Machine. So let me just save that logo right there. And then I can just say, I've got my sales letter. I can go add media. I can upload a logo. I know I'm going a little bit fast here, but let me get this on here. I've added a logo. And I can just insert in the page, and then boom, just like that, I have created a logo. I can add a download page. I can put in whatever kind of headline I want, all from just pointing and clicking. So I can create a sales letter. I can put in a headline, even if it just says, who else wants to discover the secrets to flipping a house in 30 days from foreclosed real estate. That gets the point across. If someone is looking for that solution and sees that you can provide that, you don't have to have all these clever different businesses. And so we just lead people from one point of the web page to the next, to the next, to the next. We have a pretty good headline, which leads to a pretty good subheadline, which leads to a pretty good opener, which leads to the offer, which leads to explaining it, which then asks people to buy. There's this thing that we like to use called Lance Copywriting, and if you answer these 4 questions, then you can have a decent converting web page, which is this thing you're offering me, why is it important? If you're teaching me about foreclosed real estate, well, why do people need this? Why can't people figure it out on their own? Or why is this a very timely solution for everyone? What is it? Exactly what are you offering? Now, how is it delivered? What is actually included in the package? And then what if I get it? So what kind of results can I expect? What's the price? And what steps do I now take it to get it right now? So we talked about a lot of things today, a lot of mindset things, which I think that helped prepare you for this idea of getting a web page online, getting your name out there, getting it to work for you. And you're going to have to, at some point, maybe not today, but in the very near future, answer some of these tough questions, which are how many hits do you get to your website per day, and do you even know? How many new opt-ins do you get on your web page right now, and do you even know? On that opt-in page, we give away that free gift, even if it's just 3 articles in a report. How well does that convert? How many sales do you get per day? What is your sales that are converting at? And even what's your list size? And for some of you, the answer to some of these are 0, and that's fine as long as you know where the problem is. Instead of having your head in the sand, you say, I'm going to be optimistic, but this is what I need to improve on. And instead of worrying about, well, does it split test, does it do Taguchi or multivariate testing? Well, if you're not getting any new opt-ins per day, this is where you need to focus on. If your list is 0, start building a list. If you're not making any sales, get a website online, get a sales letter online, and get traffic to it. But you need to get started somewhere and not let all the fancy options and opportunities get to you, because you have to get something online. And this paper template plugin for WordPress is the way for you to get these point-and-click headlines, these bullet points, where you can make an entire site, you can create a sales funnel, you can start building a list, you can sell products without FTP, without HTML. You can add in logos, graphics, zip file downloads, video downloads, anything you want without FTP, without HTML, and you can use it for just one page. So one thing I didn't show you is that for this one web page right here, you can turn the paper template on or off. So we saw that we have pages like this on our WordPress site, but if you wanted to scroll down and say, I don't want to use the paper template on just as part of my website, and we update this and we view the page, you can see right here, whoa, my webinar got kind of screwy right there. Let me try to refresh there. Whoops, wrong window. Okay, so now we can see that this web page is now back to the normal WordPress blog. So we can easily control, is this going to take over my entire site, or can I have a blog on the front end and then these different sales pages and these opt-in pages, these download pages off at the side by turning the paper template on or off. So you can use it either any way that you want to. It has built-in legal pages. It has a copyright policy, earnings policy, privacy policy, which makes you look more legitimate and give you a boosting in Google. You can create as many sales letters, opt-in pages, gift pages, and download pages as you want. Edit from anywhere because it's all WordPress, it's all point and click from your browser. You can even grant an outsourcer partial access because it's WordPress to just edit one part of your site if you want. You can switch around navigation, like say, well, I want to have the opt-in page on the front of my website, my sales letter, my webinar replay, my webinar registration. Any way you want it, you can move it around. And thousands of people are already using our paper template site. Everyone says, I love your stuff. This will be a huge help. Very slick, looks fantastic. Made a terrific tool, 1,000 times better. Cool WordPress plugin. Everyone likes it now because Lance and I have been using this for at least 10 years, and now it's available on WordPress, and it's called Paper Template 2.0. It installs as a WordPress plugin or on a web page, makes opt-in pages, sales pages, webinar pages, download pages, video pages, and you can create as many of them as you want on the same blog. You can make sales letters in one click, opt-in pages in one click, and then you just change around the headline, the bullet points. You can delete or change it any way you want. You can add your own swipe file to it. This is kind of cool. We can go to the paper template settings, and if you happen to see, once again, not by buying Cosmo magazine, but if you see your competitors or you hear a nice idea that you want to put in your headlines, you can say, well, here's where I want to have like, if you can't, I promise you can complete this, or you can say, I challenge you to take this course and tell me what you thought. You can add in these different parts of your swipe file, and then when we're editing a web page and we're saying, well, let me decide on what headline I want, you can see that you can then later on access the ideas, the notes that you personally added in to your swipe file. So it includes legal forms. You can install it on as many sites as you own with the ultimate version, and it contains 1 year of updates and support built in. All this and more, a complete business for just $997. And now this is why I'm glad that we covered a lot of the mindset issues in the beginning of this call, because some of you guys are saying, well, you know what? What if it doesn't contain this one feature? Or what if I buy it and I can't do it? Well, here's your chances of success. And the way to look at all this is there's the bottom 20%, which is where most of us start off, and the top 20%, which is where most of us want to be. And notice how there's some in the middle. This is where there's the longer phrases, but then as we achieve clarity, make it simple, it turns into these shorter phrases. We start off saying, I won't, I can't, don't know how, until now the middle part is where you know there's a problem, but you're ready to make a change. I wish I could, I want to, I think I might, I think I can, until finally I can, I am, and I did. So my goal for you today is to look back 30 days from now in today, which is kind of trips me out. It's like the future and the past at the same time. And you said, I went from I won't, I can't, don't know how, into I can, I am, and I did, and I have that web page online. It's not the last web page I'll ever create, but it's the next one to get me that much more closer to my goals. And once I have a web page, now I can get some traffic, get some leads, get some sales, but you have to get the web page online first. And someone in the audience says it's worth twice of $997. Well, that's even better because it's not even $997, it's just $497 for point-and-click copywriting, for built-in headlines, bullet points. You can start with a page written for you. You saw how easy and fast I made a web page where in the past we'd have to go and get images and code things and HTML stuff and FTP it up and test it and tweak it for even days or months. Now it's done in minutes. So think about how much a copywriter would cost, or how much a webmaster would cost, or how much it would cost to get all this stuff made from scratch, or how much it would cost once it was up to make changes. Well, they might charge you $500 just for one change, but luckily, Paper Template is just $397. It's not just a business in a box, it's several instant businesses in a box. I showed you right now today how you could put together a free report and an opt-in page and a download page quickly. You can go and buy resale rights, set up a download page, put up a sales letter quickly. Take some of those products that are half finished and just get them online, or maybe take products that weren't selling and put them on a brand new website and start getting traffic to them today. What if you set up 10 new websites per day? Or if you wanted to keep things simple, just access and improve one sales letter from anywhere in the world. Well, you get all that, and it's just $297 to get a professionally written sales letter, a high converting opt-in form, to get pre-made legal forms and pages with no installation required. I didn't open one program today except for my web browser. I opened Google, I opened WordPress, but that was pretty much it. And it's just point and click. There's no more editing code or installing fancy programs anymore. You can put up video replay pages, download pages, webinar registration pages, which we didn't even get to. But for just $197, you can use it on as many sites as you personally own. You can use it with your existing blog because, like we showed you, you can just say, I have this blog with all these other pages, and I just want this one web page to be a paper template, but that's it. You can use it just for the point-and-click headlines if that's all you want it for, and you can create an unlimited number of sales letters and opt-in pages and all those kinds of things on the same blog. At one point in time, Lance and I polled everyone, and we found out that over 95 point, I think it was 0.2%, but don't quote me on that, but it was over 95% of people had some kind of product that was not selling that they could sell. So it might mean that they bought resale rights, or that you put together a part of a report, and why don't you just get it out there so that you can then get to the next logical step, right? You can create something that's imperfect and keep taking those steps to make it a little more perfect, just to get to where it is that you want to go. So my question to you is, how many sites do you want to use it on? Maybe right now it's just one site. But what if in a year you have 10 more sites, or you have 50 more sites? Or what if in 2 years you have 100 more sites? How many sites do you want to use this on? Well, what I want to tell you right now today is for just $147, you can use this on unlimited sites. That is not a typo. The price really is that low. So what's it worth to you to finally get your site online today? Or even if your site is online, if you have some new idea. I know that sometimes Lance and I have looked at things and said, we have this high ticket product, but what if we put out a low ticket, like a $10 report, and then use that to get more people in our funnel? So if you have an idea like that, well, then now you don't have to think about it for even one more day. Just go and turn on the paper template, click on that button, and make that sales letter and that download page. What if you use this to bring an old site back to life, or just bought resale rights to get an extra income stream? I mean, I can tell you story after story where I've paid $10, $50, $200 for rights to some product or another, put it up online in a couple of minutes, sent an email out to my list and made $2,000, $4,000, $6,000, $12,000 just from getting this offer in front of the right people. So I have a big surprise for you. And if you're ready for the surprise, can you go ahead in the question box and type in the word surprise? All right, so go in the question box, type in surprise right now, because the surprise for you is that it's not even 127. It's not even 97 for you to use it on your whole blog or just one page. It's not even 77, so you can use it to build your list faster, get that report figured out, get an opt-in page, download page, and then from there, link them to your sales letter. It's not even $67 for this WordPress plugin that Lance and I use every single day. It's proven, it's tested, we use it. It includes legal pages, templates, a swipe file, order forms, a built-in copywriter. It's just $47. So get it right now at papertemplate.com. That's papertemplate.com. It's just $47. To use it on as many sites as you personally own, you can get it at papertemplate.com. Try this out for 60 days and get your money back if you don't like it for any reason whatsoever. And you can use this with any other WordPress plugin. So if you already have your site tweaked out with the right SEO, pop-up plugin, split testing plugin, e-commerce plugin, whatever you're using, this does not interfere. This is a page that you can create off to the side on your WordPress site. And here's a little secret, is that we've tested it, some of our friends have tested it, and I know that that white piece of paper, wherever the heck it was, the white piece of paper, if I view the page on our site, it looks kind of plain, right? Well, that's the point. Someone will come to the site and it looks legitimate enough where they'll focus on just the words, but every time we've tested this design against another one, the other design has lost. This is one of those templates where it's not the best looking template there is, but it's so plain that people will focus on the text you have in front of them or the video you have in front of them instead of, ooh, look at those pretty rounded corners. This is just the template that's not pretty, but it converts better than anything else we've ever seen. And so that's why we use it. That's why you should use it too at papertemplate.com. Now remember this guy, Robert Kiyosaki? When you don't learn from mistakes, you make them again. I've had to learn the same lesson numerous times, and each time was more painful. So if the mistake you've made in the past was not having a website online, or letting yourself get too confused, or letting yourself take so long to on these projects that you got 50%, 70%, 90% of the way done, and you didn't follow through, you didn't finish, you didn't have a website online, maybe that's a sign. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person, doesn't mean that you're a procrastinator, doesn't mean that you're a quitter. It just means that those mistakes you've made have got you to this exact point in time right now. And so those mistakes have just prepared you for this moment where it's now time to put a website online, to have a web page where it's not 100% great. It'll never be 100% perfect, but it's a page where someone can pay you money right now, and then you can focus on getting people to that web page. So what I want you to do is just get it online and set up. So go to papertemplate.com to secure your spot right now. Click the pay button, and we have two choices. I'll bring it up for you right now. So if you can go together at papertemplate.com. That's papertemplate.com. This is where you can get the WordPress plugin that we've just shown you, where you can point and click your way to an opt-in page, download page, sales letter, and more. So you go to this web page right here, you scroll to the bottom, we explain to you what's in it, and at the bottom here we have the Express edition, where, you know, if money's tight, if you're just getting started, that's fine. You can use this on 5 sites that you own, and you can create this white piece of paper look and feel. This sales letter is powered by the paper template, by the way. We didn't FTP one single thing. We didn't HTML one single thing. This was all just from a point-and-click WordPress site, and you can't even tell because it's just a simple web page. And we have other web pages on here. We have webinar replays. We have opt-in pages, but you can't tell because this is our main direct response sales letter. So 5 personal sites to have that. But if you want to have to use this on unlimited sites and have that point-and-click functionality, then choose the $47 option. But either way, the place to go right now is papertemplate.com to get it for the Express version for 5 sites for $7 or the $47 unlimited personal site edition. So go to papertemplate.com and then pay the button and log into the site in the next few minutes to get the latest and greatest version of the paper template. So go there right now. We put the website in the question box, in the chat box. The place to go right now is paper. Let me type it in one more time. papertemplate.com. And I look forward to seeing what kind of opt-in pages and sales letters you create using our amazing tool. Once again, that's papertemplate.com. We're about to close this webinar down right now, so make sure that you go to the webpage. Don't just write it down. Don't just remember it. That's not enough. What you need to do right now is open up your web browser, and let's go together to papertemplate.com. That's papertemplate.com. And let's just see what you create and do it in a few minutes, not in a few months. I'm Robert Plank from papertemplate.com. Thank you and goodbye, and I'll see you inside the members area of papertemplate.com.